tonight, week 2 begins, and it's going to be a good one with the AFC West Showdown. Congratulations to NFL putting a good game on there, except it's on Prime Video, as the Los Angeles Chargers make a visit to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Ben, I'll start with you here. Do the Chargers, like last year, go into Arrowhead and upset them?
I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this one, and you guys know I'm high on the Chiefs because last week or the week before, I not only picked the Chiefs to get the number 1 seed, but I doubled down on it and picked Patrick Mahomes as my MVP candidate. This is going to be an incredible quarterback duel tonight between Mahomes and Herbert. Both of them put up incredible week 1s. Mahomes had the 360 with 5 touchdowns, and then Herbert 279 with 3 touchdowns. Here are my couple keys to this game, and I think it's going to be a close one. So each and every one of these could have a very large impact when you look at what's probably going to be a high-scoring game that goes back and forth, and it just could be whoever has the ball last ends up winning. Number 1, can Mack and Bosa, who had 4.5 sacks, just them alone last week had 4.5 sacks against Derek Carr and the Raiders, can they have another great game and pressure Mahomes? Because Mahomes was not sacked a single time in Arizona last week against that Cardinals' putrid pass rush. So can they force pressure on Mahomes, make him get the ball out early before he wants to? Another thing, too, and I know, Luke, you're going to be paying close attention to this, can Mike Williams, who had just 10 yards last week, step up with no Keenan Allen already ruled out? Yeah, so can Mike Williams, the wide receiver 1, step out? Kansas City's already down a corner in Trent McDuffie, so I don't necessarily know what their secondary situation is looking at. So there's my 2 keys to the Chargers. Can they get pressure on Mahomes, and can Mike Williams step up? Also, watch out for Gerald Everett and Josh Palmer to make an impact in this game. I think Josh Palmer, we could see him score a touchdown this evening as the de facto wide receiver 2 now with Keenan Allen not playing. On the Chiefs side, we know Kelsey's probably going to go for 100-plus yards because he's a matchup nightmare. Are you going to put one of your best corners? You're going to put Jordan James on him, or are you going to stick a linebacker on him? And Travis Kelce is much faster than that linebacker. So you know Kelsey's going to have a great game. But who else steps up in a game that's probably going to be a shootout? Which of those other playmakers is going to play a big role? A couple names to look forward to. Juju Smith-Schuster in his Chiefs debut had 79 yards last week. Nothing incredible, but also a pretty good game, especially when you think about the fact that they were kind of in cruise control for the mid to late stages of that game and didn't have to push the ball down the field. Will it be Sky Moore in week 2? He didn't have a great involvement in the offense in week 1, but he's a dynamic player at SMU. Or will it be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who had 2 receiving touchdowns last week? Is he actually legit, or is it just the same thing that we usually see where he has a good week 1 game and then kind of fades off into the sunset as the season goes on? So who steps up for Kansas City outside of their number 1 guy in Travis Kelce? I'm looking all at offense for the Chiefs because I don't think we see a whole lot of defense played in this one. Over-under is 54. I think the over hits for this one for sure. I'm expecting a whole lot of points in what a game we could be sitting here in about 24 hours saying this is a candidate for Game of the Year. I hope I'm not let down because it just seems too good to pass on this one as a high-scoring shootout between 2 incredible offenses and 2 of the best teams in the entire NFL that are in the same division. I'm going to take the Chargers to cover this one. It's Chiefs -4, but I have the Chiefs winning in an incredible final score of 33-30. Look out, too, for the Chiefs. Don't have their kicker, Harrison Butker. Matt Amendola is going to be putting the ball through the uprights.
What happened there?
Butker got hurt on a kickoff in Arizona last week.
Is that what happened?
I don't know if it was broken ankle because Butker was still able to kick last week after that happened, but apparently there was like loose turf in Arizona. Yeah, Andy Reid mentioned it.
The Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie is on the IR because of that.
So I mean, I was hoping it'd be Justin Reed, the safety, who got to do a kickoff and put the kickoff through the uprights, may I mention, but it's going to be Matt Amendola.
Impressive.
I'm not necessarily saying this will come down to a game-winning field goal, but I'll take the Chiefs to win this one 33-30, and each quarterback, I would assume, will throw for multiple touchdowns. I think if we're going to see running, it'll be out of Eckler, not necessarily as much out of the Chiefs. 33-30, I'm taking the Chiefs in what should be an awesome game.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game, and I expect this to be a very high-scoring affair. I mean, you got 2 of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't care who on the Chargers defense is going to try to stop Travis Kelce, because guess what? You're not going to stop Travis Kelce. You can limit his production within this game. I would hope that they could limit him below 10 catches for 121 yards, that the Arizona Cardinals could not stop Patrick Mahomes to save their lives. Now, Khalil Mack, I expect him to create havoc. And then, of course, you got Joey Bosa. You got J.C. Jackson is back tonight, so I expect the secondary to look better. Derek Carr couldn't do worth a lick last week, and that also has to do with the offensive line. My thing I'm going to be looking for in this game is how Justin Herbert is going to be managing the offense and who's going to be exactly available to throw the football to, because Keenan Allen is not going to be playing tonight. So that opens up more receptions for Mike Williams. And I'm going to be very salty if he does not get more catches. But nevertheless, Justin Herbert's 129.4 passer rating is second to Mahomes last week. So this should be a very passing game like. I don't expect much running the football at all unless someone's getting blown out, which I highly doubt. But you got Mike Williams, who had 2 catches for 10 yards on Sunday. I was very shocked to see that. But I do have to give credit to Justin Herbert because he was spreading the football all game long against the Raiders. He wasn't just sticking to Keenan Allen. He wasn't sticking to Mike Williams. He wasn't sticking to DeAndre Carter. He wasn't sticking to Gerald Everett. He was distributing the football across the field. It didn't matter who you were guarding. If you were the Raiders defense, you had to figure out how to cover the one receiver that you were assigned to, whether that was zone or man. Nevertheless, though, DeAndre Carter and Gerald Everett, I was very pleased what they were doing. They combined for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Gerald Everett, I don't know if he's reviving his career or not, but he looked very good. DeAndre Carter also looked very good. He does need to step up, though, a little bit more to be that number 2 receiver that the Chargers really need this weekend. But I am going to say for the second year in a row, the Chargers will be going into Arrowhead and they will upset the Chiefs.
I like it. I think we're going to find out really early if Austin Eckler will play a big part in this game, because I think they're going to run the ball. The Chargers will run the ball early in the game. If it doesn't work, then it will become passing, like you said, Luca. Mm-hmm. And honestly, another thing I'll be looking forward to is how much time Patrick Mahomes will have in the pocket. Obviously, against the Cardinals, he had a lot more time. But here, remember the name, J.C. Jackson. He's going to have a big game. Remember the name. This is his first game of the season. Remember the name. I'm telling you. And another guy that you have to remember the name, Gerald Everett. I think he's going to step up big without Keenan Allen. I think Gerald Everett might be his man. I know you want to be the other guy, Luca.
Yeah, I would like that.
But it's fine because Herbert's going to find everyone. He's that type of guy, and he'll even use his legs a little bit in this game, I believe. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to see what Khalil Mack can do. And my big prediction here is he's going to have a big sack that's going to make a big turn in the game. That is my prediction. He's going to have a big sack. It's going to make a big turn in the game. I'm going to take the Chargers with the upset as well. But I'm not going to go super high scoring here, actually. Really? I'm going to actually go 35-27. So it's still high scoring, but I don't have 2 30-30 games. So
yeah, it's still pretty high
scoring. Pretty high, but
I mean, if you have either defense tonight in your fantasy
it's
team.
tough to not go high scoring. I didn't want to go like, I know that's high, but there's no way that this is not going to be high scoring, right?
I mean, if it's not high scoring, I would be pretty shocked simply because of how prolific these offenses are.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. And the quarterbacks that are playing in this game, they've established that they're top 10 in the league for a reason. Granted, Patrick Mahomes has been in the playoffs several times. He's won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert has not been to the playoffs yet, and that's because of Brandon Staley last year. That was his fault. With going fourth and something on their own side of the field. I mean, the dude in the analytics, I mean, come on. That's just got common sense. But I got to admit, I do have to give Patrick Mahomes some credit for last week. I mean, the Arizona defense, I don't know what they were doing out there. They looked like garbage out there, okay? I expected the Arizona defense, I didn't expect them to be lights out, but I did not expect them to let up 44 points in 5 touchdowns. Granted, I knew Travis Kelce was going to get his receptions. I knew he was going to get the catches that he was going to get. But I did not expect for Sky Moore to be wide open on the perimeter. I did not expect Juju Smith-Schuster to make it look so easy out there. I mean, MVS made it look so easy out there. The point what I'm making here is what I said in my list. Patrick Mahomes is making it seem like he didn't need Tyreek Hill. He just needs someone to rely on in the passing game. I mean, I'm not saying the Cheetah is not going to be missed. He'll be missed throughout the season, trust me. And I'm not going to forget Mecole Hardman either, because he's going to be relied upon more throughout the season to try to be that receiver, not what Tyreek Hill was, but more relied upon. And if this happens to work out throughout the season, the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs is going to look like a genius.
How many drops did MVS have?
I don't remember.
I don't think he had any.
I don't remember.
I'm excited to see the Chiefs offense in a like spread out who's going to be the playmaker every single week. Kelsey is really the only consistent, but at the receiver position, it's going to change week by week depending on what the matchups are like, how they decide to scheme guys open. So I'm excited to see that because, like I said, I think we could see one of the most efficient Mahomes seasons that we've had so far. And I think his number is going to be really, really good when we sit here at the end of the football season. And they need this game tonight, especially when you look at how competitive that division is. When against a really good Chargers team, if you're going to split 1-1, which is the most likely, you want to take the one here at home and not put as much pressure on the one late in the season.
Yeah, if you're in the AFC West, you're playing in the playoffs every week, okay? Because this division's tough. The Chargers know that because they played a division rival last week with the Raiders. They beat them. But I got to admit, I'm going to say this very quickly because we have 5 minutes. I could not believe what the Denver Broncos did on Monday Night Football. I mean, it was stupid.